everybody, I'm JJ. I'm watching Reality Survival. So, power's out, and it's been out since last night. Probably about. Hopefully that generator's not too loud. Since probably, I don't know, 8 o'clock? No, maybe 10 o'clock, something like that. Let me go downstairs. I think that generator's gonna be too loud. So, we got the generator hooked up. Well, what we did is last night we hooked up all of the battery boxes, and so I got the freezers on the Licity, and then I've got the Olanus on the pellet stove, and then I've got the Blue Yeti on my computer, the Energy on the internet modem, and then the other one, I forget the name and model of it. Anyway, it was on the refrigerator last night, and so those ran it through all last night until this morning, and they did pretty good. They were most of those are anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 watt-hour batteries, and kept everything good to go until morning. And the freezers were still on 100%. I mean, they didn't hardly use any energy down here in the basement. The refrigerator used, on the 1,500 amp hour battery, it used about 3/4 of it. And that was until about 9 o'clock this morning, something like that. The heater, the pellet stove, we didn't run the pellet stove all night. We ran it while we were up until about midnight, and then in the morning we got up at about 7 and plugged it in, and then it had about 25% left after when I started the generator. And then let's see. The Blue Yeti only used about, because I didn't use the computer, and it just stayed plugged in all night, and I think it ended up using like 30% of it. And the Energy didn't hardly use anything because we weren't really using the internet because it was down. The internet was down too. So that the plan with the using the battery boxes to get you overnight until the next day, so you can start your generator and all that kind of stuff, really seems to work pretty good. Obviously, you don't have the well pump and stuff like that during that time frame. But I got up this morning and we got the transfer switch, turned on, and then we turned on almost everything in the house. I mean, there's really very few things that we're not running off of that generator. There's like the washer and dryer, the central vac unit, the range. Just the big heat items are kind of the ones that that take the big draw that we're not using. But everything else is running good. So I've been checking the temperatures on the generator every couple hours, and I'm going to run it for probably 4 or 5 hours, and then I'll stop and give it an hour or so break, let it cool back down, and then we'll run it for another 4 or 5 hours, and then by that time we'll be getting close to nighttime again, and then we'll probably switch back over to the batteries because they'll be all charged and everything like that. So that's sort of the way that we're doing it, and that rations fuel, but allows us to use the the generator and the house, kind of stuff during the day, and then conserve energy to the extent practical, during the nighttime. And I think this is a kind of a fairly similar use pattern for how I would use it in a grid down kind of situation. I might run it a little less, than like 8 or 10 hours during the day, just to conserve fuel and stuff like that. Maybe only 4 to 6 hours during the day. But I think that's a pretty realistic way to do it, and that way you're only using the generator and you've only got it out during the daytime when you can be out and about watching it, making sure that nobody's coming trying to steal your fuel. Just doing bad things to to other people, the people who want the stuff that you have. You've got to be willing to be able to defend it and everything. Now, some people will say that the right method is just to go purely silently, and we could do that with the solar panels and stuff, but being up here in New Hampshire, in the wintertime, springtime, and fall, you don't have a whole lot of really sunny days. So you're going to have a pretty reduced capacity to be able to generate sunlight at this times of year. What happened was we had a big storm come through, and some freezing rain and stuff. And so a bunch of trees fell, with the ice. They were loaded down with ice and everything, and then fell on the power lines, and so they're getting it fixed. And this is the longest power outage we've had since we've been here in New Hampshire. Normally they get it fixed within 2 to 3 hours. So this one is a little longer. What are we coming up on there? Maybe 12 hours, 14 hours now or something. So it's not that long. Hopefully it doesn't continue too long. We'll see. But we've got enough fuel between the propane and the gasoline that we have. We've got enough fuel to probably run 2 weeks. Kind of full time, like I was talking about earlier, 8 to 10 hours a day. We could probably at least run 2 weeks. I think that the propane would probably last that long. I'd have to check it and see, because that's not running all out, 24 hours a day. That's just running, 8 or 10 hours a day on that little generator. I think that the 2 propane tanks that I have, they're both 100-gallon tanks. So that's going to be 160 gallons of actual propane. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much we use today, and kind of extrapolate that out. And then we've got another 85 gallons of gasoline, 100 gallons of gasoline, and probably a little more. Probably 125 gallons with the little cans and everything. So I think that would probably go another 2 weeks. We could probably go quite a while if we had to. But anywho, just thought I'd let you know that the plan in having multiple, we talked about it on several videos before. That's why I'm bringing it up to you, on having multiple smaller solar generators, to kind of be able to get you through the night or get you through the short outages, seems to have worked pretty good. So I think it's a pretty decent plan. Oh, that's right. The other solar generator was the Bouge RV Fort 1500. But excuse me. Woo. Oh, man. So, anyhow, all right. That's pretty much it for today. Just a little update from the power outage and how everything worked out. Check out our cell phone app if you haven't heard of it. It's American Prepping Academy. We got 15 different creators on there. Just let you basically know when prepping channels are uploading their YouTube videos, since YouTube doesn't like to notify anybody. Doesn't cost anything. It's totally free. It doesn't collect any personal information, and just a resource for you guys to be able to use to be able to keep up on the prepping videos from a lot of great channels. So anyway, check that out on the Google Store, Google App Store, and the Apple Play Store, or Apple App Store. I got that backwards. Anyway, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. And stay safe.